Hey, welcome back to Frank's Model Works. I'm Frank. I was building a Mustang, wasn't I? Uh, I'm still building a Mustang. I did get the body painted, but while I was painting it, I came to a very concerning revelation. I forgot to add trim that was supposed to be added probably before I painted the body. On this one, I'm gonna throw a picture up of the car that the color scheme that I'm trying to replicate on this model. But these rocker panels down here, below the character line, are supposed to be painted semi-gloss black. But worse, there's supposed to be chrome trim that separates the body color from the semi-gloss black. And on the kit itself, it's actually represented on the decal. But like I had said before, I was just gonna paint it anyway. I forgot about the chrome trim, but this was a good opportunity to do a tutorial, which I actually did, and you're gonna see that now. And I'm not gonna put this in the playlist of updates for the Mustang because it's more of a tutorial on how to add chrome trim to a car that doesn't have it, that you will later either bare metal foil or you'll paint it chrome or whatever you got to do. But adding it itself, I have a little tutorial for you. So I'm going to put you up there. I'm not going to do it right now. I'm not going to put you up there right now because I already filmed doing this. So you'll see how it all works and comes together. Hold on. Okay, here's the painted body on the 71 Mach 1. I've already painted the headliner on there, so I've masked that off for when I did the color coats. But one thing I forgot was that I'm going to be doing the version of the Mach 1 that has the trim at this character line. So as you can see here, I've already started. What I'm using to replicate this is Evergreen number 218. It's 0.020 inch rod. And in order to do that, I very carefully, now if you notice, if you could see here, let's see if you could see, right here is one piece. Then I did this as one piece and then cut it at the door line and then put a little, you see that? Let's see if you can see that right there. Put that little divot in there so that if the doors were to open, the trim wouldn't be in the way. And then I cut at this door line, and then I'm gonna have to sand in a bevel so that, well, the real one would have a bevel there so that you could open the door. It would be possible to open the door. Now I've got a couple of glue boogers, but they're underneath the trim, which is going to be painted black anyway, so I'm not super concerned about them. But like, I'm just very, very lightly sanding along here. And I probably should have done this before I painted the body, which would have been the smart thing to do. But this is Frank we're talking about, so. So now, what I'll do, since I'm explaining, I've explained the way I'm going to do it, I'm going to just do it. Alright, so this is the front valance panel. This is probably going to be painted black. This part goes under here, and according to the reference photos I have, I'll pop one up now, it looks like my trim is going to go onto this piece right here rather than up here, because it looks like in my reference photos. But before I glue anything to this, because I'm going to wait for this to dry, I got a booger, but I could sand that out, no big deal. And I got to trim this off anyway. Just want to get it tacked and glued. And then I'll work on the front valance. And this should be relatively dry. Then I'll sand it down a little bit and try to make it look real-ish. And we'll continue. So, when you see me doing this, that's my reminder to myself while I'm watching that it's time to come back. I have to pause the YouTube video that I'm watching and bring you guys back in to tell you stuff. So, we will be back in a second. Oh, by the way, yesterday, when I started doing the trim on the car, I knocked over this bottle of Tamiya cement, and it got on the bottom of the mouse. You see how shiny this is? That's the battery door for the I can't get the battery out now. So this mouse is it still works, but whenever the battery dies, it's gonna be a problem. So I'm gonna have to replace the mouse. Okay, so I just verified with my reference photo, and I'm gonna put up what I'm looking at. On this car, it definitely looks like the trim is going to be on the valance panel. So I'll put that picture up right now. What I'm looking at in order to make this decision. So, and then it looks like I painted this for nothing because this will be painted semi-gloss black. So, I don't know. I don't want to eat up the battery on the camera, so I'll bring you back in if there's something to show you. All right, hold on. Okay, so I got this little piece of trim on. This is right about where the bumper starts. So that's where I trim. I'm gonna taper this in, which is gonna be a little bit dicey. I don't have to be as careful here because this is all gonna be painted anyway, so I could rough this up a little bit if I want to. I'd rather not, because it's just more work for me, but so far so good. Adding this trim. Now I'm not gonna go directly to this side because while I'm doing this side, knowing me, I'm a klutz, I'm gonna knock this side off. So what I'm gonna do now is go to this side of the car and do back here. So I don't know if you want me to speed this up or whatever you want me to do. See what happens. Let's make this a little bit long. And the thing with Evergreen, it's really, 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 I love Evergreen. I buy Evergreen as much as I buy kits. Like, I like making stuff just out of Evergreen. I haven't done that in a while. I once made, like, a chassis that would go under a 29 Ford just out of Evergreen. And it was Z'd and everything, and it just became a stalled project, and I gave it away. What are you going to do? Try to tack that. That happens a lot. Oof, come on. Get up there. Play nice. Play nice. Alright, that looks okay. So like I said, this is something you should probably do before you paint the body. Because then it's easier to fix your goof ups. I try not to strip paint. I would rather just fix it and fix whatever I mess up, keep going, but you know, it happens. Out of the kit, Revell provides this trim as a decal. Now, if you wanted to just cut the silver portion of the decal that goes on there, that's an option for you. My thing is, I don't like when Revell provides like this piece right here in black in decal, because it looks stained a lot of times. So it's not a good look. I usually will just paint it. I ran into that once before with the 1990 Mustang LX. I wound up just using the striping and then just cutting off the black part and just painting. Because the decals, for whatever reason, maybe the setting solution, I don't think so, because it actually looks... Hold on a second. Let me see if I can get the decal and show you. Stand by. Jump cuts. I've got them in a... Oh, I was looking for this. Here they are. I was looking for these pieces and I wound up having to scratch them. This is the insert for the rear view mirrors. Oh, there's the other one. Getting old, kids, getting old. Okay. Here's the decal. I don't know if you could see it. I'll see if I can get this at an angle where you might be able to see it, but see that? It looks like, see that right there? Where are you? Right there. It looks like a stain. You see that? That's why I won't use them. I realize they might, but I've been burnt by that kind of stuff before, where I apply them and then it doesn't clean it up. You know, like it's still, the stain is with the decal. So that's why I'm painting this. But you could see that there's like a silver portion. I guess they also give you the option of painting it yourself, but of painting it yourself and then using this. But on the real car, it's actual trim, as you'll see in the pictures that I put up of the reference that I use. So it's not that hard to add trim, so why not? Nobody will notice, nobody will appreciate it, but you'll know it's there until you forget that you did it. Like I forgot that I put these rearview mirror pieces in here. Getting old, kiddies. Getting forgetful. Getting old. 2 out of 10. Would not recommend. It's better than the alternative, I guess. So. Alright, we'll do... How do we want to do this? Do we want to do this like we did the other one? We'll do it like we did the other one. We need a piece about yay big. What's good about the the Evergreen Styrene is that you can add, like, say the model, the kit that you're building doesn't come with, say, around the fender trim. You can add it with various pieces. I would go to a hobby shop that has a rack. They're usually on a rotating rack, and just buy a whole assortment, and they have all kinds of shapes and sizes. I would just buy as many as you can just to have on hand, because this way you could do stuff like this, add trim. This is also what I use when I'm doing the Marcos Cruz method of putting on a vinyl top. I use this 020 rod for the trim that goes around the bottom, usually on the sail panel or the C-pillar. That's usually what I use to go around. Although in some cases, some cars, that trim is actually flat, so I will use the kind that Mr. Cruz recommends. That's Evergreen number 100, which is, I believe, 0.020 by 010 inches strip styrene. But it's good to have an assortment of these things. You could build roll cages with this. You could build anything with Evergreen. It's really fun. It's another hobby. It's collecting Evergreen, making stuff with it. Okay. Oof. Plastruct is another company that has really nice shapes. They have some really small stuff. And it's good for like all genres, like if you build planes and cars and tanks, and it's good to have. It's good for dioramas. It's good for a lot of things. Right there, I got a little... What is this doing? Right there, I got a little pimple in the paint. I think it's... Yep, it's right on the surface. Wiped right away. Sometimes we win, kids. Sometimes we win. Not often, but we do. Once in a blue moon. Okay. Alright, this is probably dried enough that I can attempt the other side. It does go, once you get a groove going, it does go a little bit quick. I cut the pieces off like this because if I use the big I mean, even this is probably too big. Not just lengthwise, but you don't want to cantilever it so that'll fall off, and you definitely don't want to glue too much that you're going to have to cut away that's glued on, because then you're going to have paint cleanup to do. And this one was kind of challenging on the other side, so yeah, see, it keeps rolling off. So I wound up on the other side. I did that by doing this. So now there's a right before the curve right here. There's like a tiny little precipice of this character line. That's where I'm going to begin my trim, in line with that. And the way that I do that is I use the light to cast a shadow. So this part is in shadow right now. This little front facing part is in shadow. So I know that that's where my piece is supposed to start. Get up there. Ooh, sorry about my language. Those who know me in real life are astounded that I haven't let loose a string of profanity yet. But I don't want to deal with people who are gonna complain about it, and I want the YouTube to feed my content to as wide an audience as possible. So that's why I don't. It's not foundational to my personality that that was on there too. And now I just shot it across. That's great. Cut another piece. I swear I've been doing this a long time. You wouldn't know by the way I fumble around. Yeah, I had to put down a new one of these cutting mats because when I spilled the glue yesterday, it destroyed the, I mean, it was, it was still good, but all of the grid that's on it got wiped away. If you've ever bought Tamiya's airbrush cleaner, I think I've mentioned this before. The airbrush cleaner that comes with like the pink top is basically the same liquid that's in here, with the exception of like 1 or 2 ingredients. But the airbrush cleaner will work as well as the liquid cement. Something to know. Something to keep in your back of your head. If you can't get the cement, you could use the airbrush cleaner, and it comes in a much larger container. I am going to ask very politely for the cooperation of this piece of plastic. Very politely. And I will ask as long as it takes, because I don't like losing my, although I have Hulk smashed quite a few models in my day. I've gotten my first few comments from people saying that I talk too much. And I don't know about you guys, but a lot of times I'll put a content creator that talks a lot. I'll put them on while I'm building, and I listen to their video as if it's a podcast. And then if he's drawing attention to something that I need to see, I just lift my head and look over. Which is why I talk so much. Okay. So it looks like I got that where I want it to be. And that's basically where I want it to be. And now it won't fit. Which would be the story of my life. Okay. I can lift that up a little bit more. Let's check this side. Alright, this side is good. This side I gotta lift a little bit more and I gotta hit it with a little more glue. So we'll kill 2 stones with 1 bird. Something like that. I don't know about you guys, but I also watch a lot of YouTube channels that are about like barn finds and getting them started. Vice Grip Garage is one of them. Stay Tuned is another one. Legit Street Cars and Cletus. Let me know. Let me know if you guys watch, because if there's people I'm missing out on. I'm aware of the guys that are on Motor Trend channel. I have that also, but I'm just talking about YouTube. And I know that Derek from Vice Grip also has a show called Roadworthy Rescues. I also watch Steve Magnante. He's a very knowledgeable person about cars, and he's a big-time model builder. So sad to hear about his encephalitis and having to sell all of his cars. So I hope he's on the mend. All right, so we're gonna let that dry in a place where it's gonna get damaged, and we'll move on. Is this on well? Yeah, it's on pretty well. So I'm gonna do the little clip. These are my SPN 120 by Godhand. Very sharp, single edge. So like I've explained in one of the first videos in this series, this edge is blunt, this edge is sharp. It provides you with a nice clean cut. Hack that off. And this, if I'm not mistaken, on the other side, I did with an X-Acto knife. Just rock it back and forth. You don't necessarily want to go all the way through, because you could wind up scratching. Even if you're doing this before the car is painted, because if you like, scratches are hard to get out, especially a blade scratch like that. Or another hard one to get out is if you're rescribing a body line, like in here, and you skip out. That's a pain in the neck. Okay, so that's on. So now the last thing that we have to do is add this here. Actually, this is on there. So the way I'm gonna do this is with my knife, I'm gonna go inside this body line. You want to create a gap so that, because you can't just put if you just hit this with your knife and just do one cut, there's not going to be enough gap. You could probably replicate it when you foil it, but if it's there, number one, it definitely is going to, ooh, nice and easy. Be careful, be careful. Shut up, Frank, for a second. Concentrate on what you're doing. Hold on a second, guys. I just took that piece off. All right. Well, this piece right here just fell off, just popped off. All right. So, and then I also have to re-glue this. I am very disappointed in myself for not realizing that I had to do this. I hope one day I can forgive myself. Let's try to make that day today.
Baby, I texted you.
Okay.
I'm gonna eat.
Okay, you heard the lady. I gotta go eat dinner. So. I will let all this stuff dry and I will be back. So let's see. Can you see if there's a gap? I gotta make sure. Actually, when I come back, I'm gonna be wearing a glove. Because the butter and grease is striking. Remember that part, the video, or can you see that bulge? Looks like I got rid of it. Mwah! I'm amazing. So, how did I do with that little gap? Pretty good. All right. I'll be back in a minute after dinner. Okay, I am back from dinner. It was delectable. And now I'm faced with a dilemma because I might have to start with another piece of styrene because I can't find the piece that I was cutting from. Hello? Little piece of styrene, where are you? Where you at? Here's a little piece right here. Is this, what is it? Oh, here it is. Never mind. This does not help because I thought this was it at first and then I thought that was it. Tell you kids, sometimes, I don't know. I just do not know. So procedure's the same. My car is blue, and every morning when I come out to my car, it's aqua with all the pollen on it. It's ridiculous. So, can I just come in here and cut? So what I'm going to do, because the trim does this anyway, is I'm going to cut this at an angle like that. This way it has a taper to it already, and I have to spend less time trying to sand that taper in. It's about time I thought of something smart. You big dummy. Who was it? That was Red Fox, right? Sanford and Son? You big dummy. So now what I'm trying to do is sand a little taper into this. Little finessing. I noticed my friend Joe from Model Building Corner did a nice job fixing the fender well trim on the 69 Camaro. Kudos to you, Joe. Very nice job. Very nice work. Team effort by everyone. Terry Wilson pointing it out. Mickey Gerace pointing it out that Terry and Mickey pointed it out that the trouble was also in the rear fender well. Joe didn't see it on his, but on all of the ones that I have it. So that video is in my videos if you want to check it out. If you got a 69 Camaro from Revell with copyright on the box that's after 2011, chances are good, passenger side, front and rear firewall, you might have a problem with a short shot in the lip that goes around. So if you're new to the channel, you might want to check that out. If you're new to the channel, welcome. It's nice to have you here. As I'm recording this, I am at about 965 subscribers. Almost at that magic number of 1,000. Hopefully by the time I release this, I will have met that goal. And for that, I am very, very, very grateful to a lot of people. And especially the people who have done shout-outs and given me exposure on their podcasts. And it is greatly appreciated. This is a wonderful, wonderful community. And it's my honor and privilege to be a part of it. Because I see the good that can be done. Being part of a community is a nice thing. How's that look? Does it look good? Said Frank to no one. I'm talking to you. Does it look good? I found one of these. I like these sanding sticks. These are from UMP, Ultimate Modeling Products. They're out of Jolly Old. Very nice. I enjoy their products. I have to put in a new order. Let's see if I could do this in a way that you can see and I can see. Can you see? Uh-oh. It's that time of year where the door-to-door salesmen are all ringing the bell to see if we want to put solar panels on the roof. And the only time we ever did anything for our house from somebody that was going door to door was when we redid the roof on our house. And in the interim, we also got our siding done, but that was by a different company. But one of the ways that we got the price down on the roof was that they wanted to be able to use our house in advertising. So they basically, like, it looked like my house had a complete and total, it did have a makeover. It wasn't done by one company. It was done by a couple. The joys of home ownership on Long Island. Just trying to profile this a little bit. Contour it in a little bit better. Remove the sanding marks, because this is gonna have to be painted semi-gloss black. And the problem with painting semi-gloss black or matte black, like as a finish, is every scratch will show up, every fleck of dust will show up, and you can't really polish it out because polishing makes things gloss. So if you're in the northeast of the United States, or if you're, say, in in what's generally considered a northern state, have you put on your air conditioners yet? Let me know in the comments, because mine just kicked on. Doesn't really need it. It's just, no. Something's going on. Alright, so how's that look? Let me look at it up against the light and see what kind of scratches we're dealing with. We still got scratches in there. So let's work these a little more. I might just re-prime this anyway, and then body work it. Where's the intermediate one? This one. I have no idea what grits these are. Like I said in previous videos, there is no such thing as like a grit convention. So what's 400 grit in the United States is not necessarily the same in Europe, or it might not even be the same among countries in Europe. And it's usually not the same in Asia. So even companies have different grits within the same country. So I can't tell you this is 400 grit, this is 340 grit, this is 600. I have no idea. Just do it by feel. Wow, I'm removing everything except the scratch. Hold that up to the light, see how it looks. Still a scratch. This right here, still shows up in the light as a scratch. Good job, Frank, you schnook. Okay, I think you guys have gotten the gist of this, so I won't make you suffer anymore. And I'll just go back to watching the video. So when it's done, I'll bring you back in. All right? Hold on. Okay, so I finished adding the trim, and just so I could feel better, I actually, when I sanded down the areas that I had where there was like little glue spots, and resprayed just to make sure that there's no problems above the trim line. I gave it a couple of touch-ups with the Splash Paints light pewter, and I think it looks pretty good. It's almost as if it was molded into the body to begin with. I'm happy with the results. I didn't do it on the valance panel because that's going to be painted semi-gloss black. So, but for this little aspect of the project, I think that turned out pretty well, and I bailed myself out of a pretty, I would say, rookie mistake, but it's a typical Frank mistake. I forgot to do something that I should have been paying attention, and but I was able to fix it, so hopefully that looks good. Hopefully it shows on the, let me move this light so you can probably see better. So if it shows on there, added the trim, no gaps between the trim and the body panel, which is surprising. You know, that's something I would definitely do. So onward. Now, that was a tutorial on how to do how to add chrome trim to a body that should have it. That would work if you need to go around the fenders, if you need to hit a belt line, if you got to put something. Just go out there, go to a rack that has evergreen plastic or plastruct, and just imagineer what you need to do. Like, use your imagination and think, would I need this? And chances are you would. I grab an assortment of this stuff. It's invaluable. I really love this stuff, and it's a lot of fun to work with. So with that in mind, if you find yourself needing to add chrome trim, here's a little thing that you can, there I go with the hand again. I'm not even over by the spray booth, and I got the hand going. But here's a little thing that you can use in order to add chrome trim. So it's another tool in your toolbox as far as replicating a car that you want to replicate. So hopefully you find this useful. I will be keeping you up to date with the Mach 1. I'm actually going to be doing regular updates on the Mach 1. I want to get it done. I have painted the red of the interior. This car actually has the headliner done. Everything else is in primer. You've seen, if you've watched my chroming series, you've seen the bumper and the wheels for this car. So this thing is moving along. I gotta kick it into high gear and get it going. So as always, number one, I got Frizzo's back. Number two, I appreciate your support. And as always, my friends, until we speak again, take care of yourselves and be well.